in there tonight. Sorry. Kevin and I are gonna start relax. Okay, wrong. That makes it go fast? Right, yeah, it's all good, that's awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, that's what I'm hoping. Guess it's a little early, but I started hating and started it on YouTube. Okay, great. And those spots are all five. Okay.
And council budget, we have 40 blocks.
Your photo plan. At least it's
So here you got nominated last night. You got all different currencies. Wow.
Yeah. It's really fun. Yeah. It's very funny when somebody else said, "Which
They're probably different people.
I was like, frozen pipes." Common refrain.
Yeah,
So we've been to Sheridan today?
we did. Yeah, that's fantastic. Final thing that Glacier had to pass to the point where it's sure, yeah, he's still for my husband.
So that's what the last one should do with the relation.
We can escape up and escape.
There's several possibilities. What's that?
So we're doing great.
Yeah. It's not here.
One day.
There's that cheer. There's not seat. Okay.
That valley that goes over it, real small path. Very glacier. Small sulfur there so many times, like there's no phosphorus. Bunch of the creek, it's not frozen at all. And just the rest of it's just totally sheet of ice and I was watching all this coming up.
On the lake?
No, it's this creek that.
Oh, okay,
that
okay,
valley.
you went big, figured out.
Passes. I keep thinking that's no solution someday.
Yeah, right. Nice house in Hot Springs.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's a beautiful spot. I don't go back there.
Oh.
It's one way to make it one. You've done that silence. That much.
That one.
That, I was a wreck on it, but.
So, you know, the block, you know, yeah, maybe it's like.
Well, you go up.
Yeah.
So it's the trail that's on I guess the west side of the Grand Road. That takes you up to the side of Sheridan Heights. And you must up that valley. Couple of hours. There's a little path. You found me. The Sheridan, one straight line, you know. You can go every day, that's a long day.
So funny, where you started.
Oh, I missed it.
Should have just.
Yeah. I've seen a picture.
Yeah, and the kids came up with them.
That's-
Effort. Okay, it looks like we are.
I know.
Are we?
Yeah, okay, sure.
Okay. Call the regular city council meeting of March 4th, 2026 to order. Will you please join me in the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so the clerk, you want to call the roll?
Sure, Mayor Smith,
Here.
Deborah Adams,
Here.
Aaron Hanson,
Here.
Casey Kinsman,
Here.
Mike Mickelson,
Here.
Wendy Rainey. Here. Kathy Sherman. Here. Dave Zastra.
Here.
That was all of them.
Yeah, amazing. Awesome. We have everyone together. We have the agenda before us. Does anyone have any modifications to the agenda as presented? Hearing no objection, we'll consider the agenda approved. Disclosures of conflicts of interest in ex parte communication. Does anyone have any conflicts? As defined in Cordova Municipal Code to be declared or ex parte communications? All right, communications by and petitions from visitors. We don't have any guest speakers. And so this is the time when the audience can come forward and make comments about items that are on the agenda. If anyone wants to come forward and speak for up to 3 minutes on an agenda item, you are welcome to make use of the microphone.
Mayor Smith and council members, I'm here tonight to voice my opinion about the council's decision to charge the Little League group, baseball group, for the baseball field and snack shack. My husband and I have lived here since 1973. I live out at mile 6.5. We've raised 6 kids here. We have 18 grandkids and we just had our 8th great grandbaby today, so I'm really excited. And all of my children, they all couldn't wait to get out of Cordova. And now they would all love to live in Cordova. There's 3 out of the 6 that live here in Cordova. And the granddaughter that just had the baby, they would love to live in Cordova too, but I think they're gonna buy a house in Utah. We'll see what happens. Because number one, it's hard to find housing and everything's so expensive here. But all of my children, and I have enjoyed using the park too. We just played women's softball and we love that. We pay sales tax, we pay property tax, fuel tax, tax on this, tax on that. We just feel like we're taxed out. And now you want to charge fees for children to play in a sand park. So are you gonna, my question is, I know you don't answer now, but are you gonna charge for use of other parks in Cordova? It would only be fair for you to charge to use baseball park. And if a family decides to go to the park and play baseball with their family, or a couple of kids wanna go play pickup baseball at the park, it's only fair that they get charged too, if you're gonna charge Little League. I know the people that have run Little League, I know the Howards and Dave Reggiani have put a lot of blood, sweat and tears into that place. And they built the snack shack, they built and rebuilt the dugouts. They spent a lot of, you know, like I say, blood, sweat and tears there. They put the fence up, they put the scoreboard up. I believe Little League paid for all that. Now I don't know if that's correct or not, but I believe they have. It's gonna be hard for a family that has 4 kids to pay that much money for their kids to play ball. Money just doesn't rain down from heaven, and I know I have to have a budget. I have X amount of dollars, and I try not to overextend myself. My credit card, I pay off every month. And I just wish the city can do that somehow. I mean, I've never been on council. I know you guys work hard. I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying, I wish, that's a dream, that we could have a budget and live within that budget. I have a neighbor, I only have 3 minutes tonight. I have a neighbor that was born and raised here in Cordova, and he moved out of Cordova after he retired because he was dipping into his savings to live here. And he now lives in Soldotna, he lives high on the hog, and he's happy as heck. But he does love Cordova, and he would have stayed here if he could afford it. And we're facing the same concerns. I have
That was 3 minutes.
Oh, it was, okay. Anyway, please don't charge Little League. Come on, you guys. We can't nickel and dime people and tax them and fee them. It's just not right. Thank you.
Thanks.
John. Thanks, John.
I'm Warren Wildrick, and these are my 2 kids, McKenna and Rowan. They are baseball players. We support the in-kind donation from the city to the Little League in order to support these guys playing ball. I'll keep mine short and sweet, but I kind of echo her sentiments as well, and yeah, it would just be nice to keep everybody playing and give back. There are a lot of volunteers. I volunteer to run the scoreboard sometimes. Assistant coach and stuff like that, and so it would be really nice to see that in-kind donation go back to supporting Reed. Thank you. You guys like playing baseball, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, good.
I'm Bill Howard. Been around for a while. Just wanted to talk a little bit about Little League and the opportunity it gives for between 100 and 200 kids to play for 6 weeks a year. But it was mentioned before, I know the city, they pick the garbage up. I don't know, I'm not sure who pays for the electricity at the snack shack. Everything down there has been donated. I personally donated the lumber for the dugouts. My time to put this concrete in. To put the bases in. The city has done nothing really down at either ball field. And we had kind of agreement years ago. We bought a lawnmower, $20,000 lawnmower. We used to mow the field out there, but then the city a few years ago decided they didn't want us out there, so they've been mowing it. Nothing against the guys, but they don't have a lot of time. But they didn't want, we offered that we can go out there and mow it, but they didn't want us to. Other than that, the sod was all put in by volunteer. The fences, the backstops, Wilson Construction, Eagle Construction, when they're around, they spent a lot of donated time out there helping us put the fences, put everything in. And then to all of a sudden be told, oh, now we wanna charge you for it, not even consider an in-kind donation. I mean, we basically maintain the fields. And over the Little League, the women's softball did back in the day. The city hasn't really done anything to improve it. Now if it was when we was talking this year about putting some AstroTurf down on the sand lot, so we have a decent field to play. But the way things are going now, everybody was excited about that. It says, why should we? Let the city do it. They want to be in charge, let them take care of it. So that's the thing I see, is you're gonna lose a lot of volunteer work. You're gonna be, people are just discouraged because all of a sudden, what we've done with years doesn't seem to really matter to the Parks and Recs department. Anyway, that's my take. I appreciate what you guys do. I know, like I say, it's hard times. I've worked for the city. I know how hard it is budget times, but also there are things that, like it was mentioned before, you're gonna charge people to And then Nettie Hansen Park. Of the Hollis Heritage Park, gonna be charged for all that. And Little League survives basically on the snack shack, that's how we get the money to run the league. So having to pay, pay for the snack shack. I don't know whether it'd be possible to be able to fund it like we have been, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Craig Coons, 404 4th Street, echo what everybody else said. First of all, thank all of you guys because, it's a tough job. And, was born here 40 years ago. My mom still tells me she couldn't imagine raising me anywhere else in the world, so. I think it's still a pretty special place and, again, what Bill and Joan and what they said, what Brian said. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts, a fee here and a fee here and a tax here and an increase there and then we're left with what? Just think real hard about it. We obviously didn't get here overnight and we're probably not gonna get out of this overnight. I think there's gonna be some collateral damage along the way as you guys figure out how to balance budgets and employ people and take care of assets and things you guys have and we have as a city. So, good luck to you guys on that one. It's a tough job, but please consider the additional fees and please consider the in-kind donations that the league has done for 20 some odd years. And I think it's $400 some thousand that's been put in and biggest quantifiable things that they've put together. So kind of a big deal. I think, AstroTurf would be cool, but if the city can't, if the city's responsible for something like that and can't even take care of the stuff you guys have, I doubt that we can count on the city to put turf down, although it'd be a wonderful thing, so just. Consider that as we're kind of. Make all the numbers fit where they need to, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks. Any other audience participation, audience comments, I mean?
Chris Bowen, 607 Burke Street. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for those on your way out. We thank you for your time and all that you've done over the years. I'm here to just support the in-kind donation. I've been involved with the league, I think, for I want to say 12 years. Field maintenance, with the Little League and with Bill Howard there at the city shop. And I've been a safety guy, board member, coach, umpire. And I just look forward to doing that for many, many years to come. And I just hope that the city can and take that at least into consideration for the in-kind. So thank you for your time.
David Allison, 203 Whiskey Ridge. Thank you all for your service. Thanks for putting your name in again. And for all of those who put their names in for election. Thank you, Kathy, for your service over the years. That's been much appreciated. I'm here to speak in support of the baseball as well, and you've heard stories about all the volunteers for that and the in-kind thing, but I would like to go further than in-kind, and I've mentioned it at this table on the other side of the table several times, that I think that the city needs to do an MOU with for the Little League and have them give them those fields or have them manage those fields, not just for the 6 weeks, but for the whole summer. Let them do the maintenance. They do most of it already. So I think an MOU with them to operate that and let them earn the money that they can earn. Would that be theirs and go towards the field, and all the money that they've ever made has always gone into the fields and the kids and equipment, and It's not cheap to run, but, you know, the parents are gonna have $200 to spend. And they're either gonna spend that at the baseball field or they're gonna spend it at the restaurants, but there's not gonna be enough money for both. And if you don't spend it at the restaurants, then the restaurants aren't making as much money, so anyway, there's only so much money in the towel to wring out. But I think the city can relieve themselves of worrying about the baseball fields, just do an MOU with baseball, Cordova Little League and let them do it. Thank you.
Thanks. Any further audience comments? Okay, thanks, everyone. Nothing speaking, I know it's not so easy. Approval of consent calendar. Yeah, couple sets of minutes.
Chairpersons and representatives.
Oh, I'm
Maybe
sorry,
they're-
chairpersons and representatives of boards and commissions, yes, anybody from the school board or hospital?
So Kathy Sherman had told me something about a set of minutes, but I forgot already. There was an edit on minutes, Kathy. what-
On January 7th. And in the roll call, I'm not present, but I am the rest of the meeting.
Oh, so it's, and I'm like, all right, I'll make that edit. And so on those two sets of minutes and the consent calendar, Dave Zasper,
Yes.
Kathy Sherman,
Yes.
Deborah Adams,
Yes.
Aaron Hanson,
Yes.
Casey Kinsman,
Yes.
Wendy Rainey. Yes. Mike Nicholson,
Yes.
the consent calendar is approved.
I'm sorry. Okay, so approval of minutes, we just did that, consideration of bids and proposals and contracts, we don't have any reports of officers, I did put a written report in this time, and we I'm also gonna talk about the housing working group later. And I was gonna coordinate with Councilmember Mickelson about comments at Board of Fish, which is 2 weeks. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I just want to give a shout out to the elections committee and say thanks for managing another local election. That was great. And yes, we have a returning council member, a new council member, an outgoing council member. Thank you so much, Kathy, for all the time and energy that you invested in, contributing to good deliberation with this team. Yeah, so I'm happy to answer questions. I guess I think that, I know everybody sees the invitation to the Coast Guard Appreciation Luncheon in there that's next week, and I hope folks can go, because it would be nice just to make sure we show the Coast Guard how much we appreciate their participation, their activity in the community, yeah. And I'm happy to answer questions.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Just one, from your report on the district subdivision and the meeting this was set for April. How will that look, that meeting, for that meeting?
I think it's just,
Zoom?
it was just like a staff meeting with the planner and, yeah, I mean, isn't it just with a couple of folks from the university land office? It's not like they're not, or maybe you have a comment.
Yeah, no, they're still a ways out from having
Yeah.
a sort of real forward working plan. It was more of just a check-in meeting for staff so that we could get information to come bring back to the council to see where they are at in their current process.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, because I think they have to go through a process of advertising for bids from contractors to do the work, and so, and I don't even, I mean, I assume the funding is kind of lined up, that they've got that in hand, but it seemed like it was quite a lot of lead time when we talked about it last fall, so.
Thank you.
Mhm. Questions, okay. Yeah, and the state, obviously, there's lots of legislation that's moving through the legislature. Some quickly, some not, and yeah, trying to track some of the issues like the PERS and TERS and defined benefit contribution legislation. And certainly the state budget is something that we need to be watching about, so. That's the report. Okay, so then we can go to acting city manager, for the city manager's report.
I don't have anything to add to it. I may be able to answer questions depending on what they are. But otherwise, I think, unless Samantha wanted to either do a pool update and otherwise, unless she wants to talk about that at a later part of the meeting. I don't have anything else.
Of course she wants to talk about it.
I just wanted to say, thank you, everyone. I love that everyone's out here.
You speak into the microphone.
That everyone's here. It's nice to have an audience tonight and passionate about what I do. So it's nice to see people in the audience that are also passionate about what they do. So, for the pool update, I just want to thank, Kevin and Susan and Sam and everyone that was involved Friday. When we got the quote from Peterson's about how much it would cost. Everyone worked together to get it in the packet today, so. Happy to see that. It was great teamwork, so. Thank you.
I know.
Does anyone have any questions about?
I have a question. So the memberships that people paid for the pool, since the pool hasn't been usable, are those gonna roll over then?
They
To the
have
next season?
discussed it a few times, and it's something that we continue to discuss with a rollover for that. I can get clear answer on it.
And I guess I do definitely wanna talk about Little. When the fee schedule was presented, I was on Parks and Rec for many years, and I was under the impression that there was an MOU. I know there used to be, not an MOU per se, but an agreement between Little League and the city. That's in our packet, but I didn't realize it had expired and it was no longer valid, so, but I have a real problem with the fact that we're looking at potentially charging the Little League for use of those fields. I think it would be more appropriate to set up an MOU or privatize the ball fields and give them to the Little League. If we can't afford it as a city to maintain it, and we get to the point where we have to charge the user group that is the one maintaining the facility, I think we need to get rid of the facility and give it to the Little League and let them maintain it. An MOU makes a lot more sense. It just really, I've had a hard time with the pool and the ice worms, but I gotta draw the line with the Little League. I mean, the Little League maintains it. I've spent a ton of time on that field. Everything in the snack shack is owned by the Little League. If you need them to do more because you need to take time away from the maintenance crew, I'm sure that could be discussed with the Little League group. But I really have a hard time charging a fee for snack shack and the field, with the Little League at this time. I think we're to the point now where the city needs to stop nickel and diming, and it's not your fault. The city managers in the history that I've been in this town have routinely treated Parks and Recreation as the red-haired stepchild and have pulled money from them at every chance that you could possibly pull money from them. And that's where we're at. We're at a point where we barely have enough money to function a Parks and Rec department because it's always the first pull. But I absolutely am passionate about the fact that we can't fix our budget on the backs of 8-year-olds. It's not gonna happen. We should not be charging so little.
And I just, I do think we need to talk about it,
Yeah.
but I think we need to figure out where on the agenda we're gonna have that
I'm willing
conversation.
to talk about that.
Yeah, and I'm not sure,
Absolutely.
I mean, this is the manager's report, we do have a
I didn't wanna pull
budget
the letter.
amendment.
Yeah, I didn't wanna pull the letter out of correspondence, so it was
Right.
on the agenda for here, that's why.
Yeah, no, that's good, I mean, I just think, I, maybe under the budget, amendment is a better place to have the back and forth and,
Or pull the letter. It's not about Little League. Pull the letter.
Or make it an agenda item for
We
a
could pull
future
the letter.
meeting.
Yes.
Prepared for whatever you guys
Yeah.
talk about.
Then we could pull the letter.
Yeah.
The goal was passed and I was implementing.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
so.
And I understand that, and it's my fault.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's fine and done. Yeah, I'm willing definitely to discuss
Yeah,
that
but I think-
further. I discuss the pool if you have any questions about
Yeah.
that. too.
we just need to discuss it as a group and give staff direction, so, yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Guys.
Yeah.
Any questions? But do you have a, I mean, Do you have a timeline for the pool? I know I've asked this numerous times, but, just a,
I don't.
By
have a
summer?
timeline. I know that this part of the repair has been put on hold until tonight's meeting, so I'm hoping that we can continue. You know, hopefully we can continue tomorrow on it and get started. We've had a nice weather window too, so. You know, we're working with that. I don't have it.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So I guess in addition to the update from. Just looking at what's there. I realize it's a dynamic situation with looking at what's underneath there and. It looks like we were presented with several different options about, you know, what we can do here. In terms of your perspective on this from talking to them, they've cut into part of it and seen that. The underlayment, for lack of a better word, underneath the pool is no longer stable.
Correct.
Do they know how far that extends? Do they have to cut the whole bottom out before
We
they
are
can figure out?
anticipating to cut the whole bottom out of the pool, because.
In the deep end, right?
In the deep end, sorry, I need to clarify with that, no, in the deep end, at the bottom of the pool, we can access it easier. We do feel that there are empty spots in the corners, it looks like the water has kind of like circulated it all and brought it to like a permanent where the drains are. So in this too is cutting the drains out and re-leveling them, which we've been manipulating them a lot, we've been pressure testing them, maintenance has been making sure that we're not damaging them, but I think it's really important to get them out, re-level, put them back in where they're supposed to be without trying to work around them, so that's part of this too, so. It's the deep end, it's pulling it out, compacting everything back down, but yeah, it does feel like in the corners of it that it is empty underneath there.
And then just in terms of that, I know there's been so much of this that's happened over the last few years. I mean, we've got a pretty decent weather window where it's not torrentially raining here, at least the current weather forecast. Assuming we decided to approve the $50,000. How long do you expect it to take to kind of get the bottom out of the pool? I mean,
It's gonna be a good one. We're gonna be just talking about these two things under resolutions.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
So,
I'm willing to answer, right, we're talking about it later.
so that way we can have.
Yeah, keep emotional.
Right, yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks. So any other questions for Kevin about? No. Sam did have a written report and. Any questions? Okay. All right, then let's move on to the clerk's report.
Channel Rich Rogers, I have 4 quick items. On the election, I think everybody's seen the results, the council members, Lee Collins and Casey Kinsman have won seats. Malani Tao won the school board seat, Kelsey Hayden won hospital services board seat. And, yes, on the bear and litter mitigation fence, won handily. I want to thank, we were kind of a short group yesterday, Siwan, Tina, Sarah, Kathy, did an amazing job, as always, Colette was extremely helpful to me. And everything went really well, we counted 425 ballots last night. Very few are left to count that may come back in the mail, so, they won't make a change in the results. We will certify on March 18th, so this council will sit on the 18th and the new council will take their seats figuratively the next day, but it'll be the April meeting that they attend. Colette has also, in our busy week, has put out the assessment notices and the 30-day appeal period has begun, which closes April 1st. She's also caught up, I mean, has just become really adept at records, and there've been a lot of records requests lately, so she handles them quickly and efficiently, and I really appreciate her. We may have, this is my third item, that was two, one and two, and now I'm on Board of Adjustment. We do have another Board of Adjustment coming, so there was one in my tenure in 2010, and now there have been two in the last 2 months, or 6 months, two in the last 6 months. So please refrain from ex parte, the record will be to you soon. But the date we're looking at is April 7th, Holly's gonna come down for it, so I'm hopeful that most, not all of you can attend, no, when Mayor Smith, the chair, and April 7th at 6 P.M. I have not set that in stone, I would say, so possibly we can adjust that. I have not sent the letters to the appellant
Should
and,
be able to be on the phone, but.
okay, all right, we, it's probably gonna be that way, because I wanted to pin down home.
Yeah.
And the fourth item is the oil and gas property tax executive session. I've just been, Sam and I were working with those attorneys, they are, Valdez's city attorneys, who happen to be very knowledgeable about oil and gas property. And they have taken us on for this because, Birch Horton is conflicted. There's a lot of oil and gas companies that are sub parts of the Alyeska Pipeline Services Company, so it's hard to find attorneys, I think, for that. So anyway, they will be, informative for you guys, give you some information in that executive session. That's all I'm gonna report on. I can answer questions on that if you.
For the clerk?
I just have one question, and I'm curious about the turnout for the voters for this election.
So we have 1,965 on the rolls. Here's my stats sheet, all the elections from 2010. I guess I haven't put the exact number of ballots cast until we count those last few, but I don't know if that comes to it, I didn't do the math. It's no, not an awful turnout, I guess. And always every third year, you see, I have it highlighted. When it's mayor and 3, it's a big turnout, and there happened to have been 2 props last year. And then the year after is usually like a lower one. And that kind of was the case this year, but not really. I mean, there've been 250 people or 230 at times. So, you know, what did I say, 425 plus maybe an extra 5, that's a decent turnout. It's not a low percentage.
I just want to mention that we had a couple of students who tried to register to vote online with the state, and the website did not work.
Oh.
And it's not on the city, but it is problematic.
Yeah, the state manages all of that, and I did take at least one hard copy of a registration, which as a registrar, I can just email that into the state. So that's helpful, but yeah, I know she brought a bunch, Emily Moody brought a bunch of students, and a lot of them did vote, and a couple of them did question ballots and one registered, so.
Cute.
I'll pass that on to the state though.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I just wanna thank the city and the clerks for getting the word out on the prop. It seems like I had a lot of conversations about that with folks in the community, and the information that went out was good, and I think it worked to educate folks, and I was a little nervous, but really pleased to see that happened, so. I just wanna thank them for their work on that.
It was the city, it was Kevin and Amanda, and
Yeah.
I think
It's all
whoever
right.
helped Amanda with the. Oh, Kayleen and Aaron, was Aaron in it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Mayor,
That's Kansas.
one more comment then too. I just want you to know that video was shown at school so that the students could make informed decisions about the bear fence, so I really appreciate the effort that was put into that. Thank you, staff, for making the video.
Yeah, I think I was really pleased too to see the communications coming out, the regularity, there was a lot of opportunity for people to get that information between the flyers, the emails, the Facebook posts. So yeah, staff did a great job of getting it out. Thank you. Okay, so then we're gonna come to correspondence.
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
I'd like to pull G.
Okay. And so what
What do you mean by full?
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to have a discussion about it.
Oh,
So turning it into an agenda item?
I've already approved the
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah,
you-
so
Okay,
not sure, I mean, we can put it on a future agenda for pending agenda,
okay, yeah.
have to do it that way. So yeah, no, let's bring it up.
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
I guess this is directed to the clerk, I'm not sure procedurally, what does it mean to pull a letter? It's that term, the terminology's been used twice now, and can you clarify?
I've not ever heard that terminology before.
It's
Oh,
been
you think
used
for the
from,
consent
it's been used for the consent calendar.
Consent calendar.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
what I was thinking, not
Oh,
correspondence.
yeah.
I was thinking.
If there's the consent calendar is meant to be for routine items, but if there's something somebody wants to talk about, they can pull it off the consent agenda and make it a regular agenda.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
confused as to where I was.
so I think for correspondence.
It's appropriate to discuss correspondence, but
Yeah.
keep in mind not to make it an agenda item and do.
We can't
you know,
make
a
action.
ton of back and forth and yeah.
There's enough interest, it needs to clearly be an agenda item.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
need to just brush over it.
So it can be brought up.
We'll move.
Pending.
Yeah, pending agenda, I have a
Then-
note already to bring it up.
Yeah. Any other? Issues about correspondence? Wondered if there might be a staff response to James Burton's comments about the RFP process.
I mean, I can either give a quick response, I know Amanda has some information also,
Okay.
I mean. I guess just Amanda wants to add anything, Basically, you know, the. Item was known about, these concerns weren't brought to us until the closing of the RFP, so, you know, the public had opportunity to come in and discuss it with staff, even come to council meetings and discuss their concerns about. How this was done. There are ways to sell property, and allow through financing. We've done it before with other properties where city takes a second position on the,
Me.
yeah, on the lien. So I mean, there are ways to do it. It was just not how we were directed to do this one, and it was not brought to our attention that we should be considering other options until it was past the period where we could change anything.
Right. I'm just wondering if it's worth a response in writing, just saying those things to that person so that they, or we could write back and say, we talked about it at the meeting, you can listen to the recording, but just some way of acknowledging the comments and saying like, in the future, here's what would need to happen, and there are ways we can do it, just so that they know that we're not, you know, completely unaware.
Yeah, and as you know, we see at almost every meeting where we talk about anything land disposal, it's an imperfect process, and we are constantly struggling our way through it to. Make it as fair and transparent to everybody, but like we also all know that. With anything that we do as a city, you know, there will always be. Somebody who preferred it to be done a different way, so we're doing our best and trying to follow council direction on how they want things, so.
Okay. Right, so no other comments or questions, then we can move on to ordinances and resolutions. And. First, we've got resolution 0326. -10. I would entertain. A motion, and if you would, please read it out for the folks listening.
Excellent.
Yes, Councilmember Zasco.
I propose, well, I move we, how was I gonna say that? Approve a resolution of the council of the city of Cordova, Alaska, authorizing the creation of a Cordova Housing Acceleration Committee, whose role is to advise the city council on strategies to increase housing stock in Cordova and to advise on other housing issues, concerns that the council may task the committee with.
Second. It's been moved by Zastor and seconded by Adams. Thank you. Member Zastor, would you like to comment?
Yes, I would, yeah. We've talked about this a bit already in the past, in several meetings. I think we have done quite a bit already in how we're trying to incentivize building, all types of building, both commercial and residences in the community. But there's a lot out there that we can do to determine a variety of ways to incentivize and to increase our stock. I think it's this committee idea is a fantastic way to do that. I'm also feeling very I feel like it will move forward well too, because of our mayor's background and experience with housing in a variety of different positions she has held in the past, being not just the chair, but a voting member and ex officio member of this committee. So yeah, I'm going to be supportive.
Thanks. Councilmember Adams?
I think it's all been said, it's necessary, and it's gonna serve, a great need. I know several young families that are struggling to buy their first home here in town. They're either not for sale or they're way overpriced, or beyond their budgets, I should say. And, we need some kind of solution here. In addition, I've spoken about this a couple of times. I would love to see this committee also, address the issue of derelict properties. In Cordova, we have a lot of buildings that are, that have been held, that are empty. I just drove down the ski hill and there's a house that's falling apart. That, no one lives in, and it's a waste of space and available space for, somebody who has a lot of blood and sweat that wants to work and improve the property. I would like to see us come up with some kind of strategy, and I don't know what that is, but the discussion should start.
Other comments?
Mayor Sven,
Yes.
I'll just echo, I'm in favor of the committee, but I too would really like to have the committee tackle blighted and unoccupied buildings in our community, because it is land that could be used, and there are more than one of these pieces of property available.
Comments?
I think it's, yeah, this is a great idea and moving some of this off of council's plate and responsibility. I think that's a very good foresight on that. I look forward to having working sessions with this group at some point and actually being able to enact some real change in this positive direction.
Yeah, my goal is to involve some folks in the community who have experiences,
Yes.
builders, home builders, developers, contractors, also include the lenders and Shay Bowman, I think you all know, she's been working with Rural Tap and is participating. I think they're pretty eager to contribute, so I think we'll get a mix of folks and also rely on case examples from like the National League of Cities, which has been doing some of this work all across the country. And one example I saw was a developer's kit that they developed in South Bend, Indiana. So great, somebody else has done that. We can just borrow all that and yeah. So but I'm excited to see what we can do to facilitate some small scale local development, because I don't think nobody is coming from out of town to, I've said that before, to do it for us. We're gonna have to figure it out. So. And yeah, the abandoned properties, the unused properties, that would be, to me, that's the lowest hanging fruit. It's those that have not been lived in for 15 or more years. All right, so then. All those in favor of resolution 0326-10, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Motion carries. So resolution 03-26-11.
Minister, yes. I move resolution 03-26-11 brought to the table, a resolution of the council of the city of Brittle, Alaska. Authorizing amendment to the fiscal year 26 budget revenues and expenses in the amount of $343,149.
I'll second. It's been moved Sherman and seconded Rainey. So Councilmember Sherman.
Yeah, so first of all, Happy New Year, some good news. So this reflects utility cooperative share tax for $47,000 to, as revenue to the city and oh, now we're seeing it firm. The fisheries disaster money, thank you, there it is. 2018-2020 fisheries disaster monies of $296,149. And, this would amend our budget that we passed. And help with some swimming pool costs, so I am all in favor of this.
Councilmember Rainey.
We need to fix pool. We do what we need to do to fix the pool. That's all I got.
Right. Thank you. Other council comments? Councilmember Nicholson.
You know, I think there's been some dialogue among the community about how best to spend fisheries disaster money, but I would certainly like to say when we're discussing the pool, that the whole reason that we have a pool is because there was a lot of fatalities surrounding the water, since most of our community's revenue comes from the water. I think it's a pretty natural fit to consider using this money for that purpose.
Good point.
Channeling our inner Mark.
Madam,
Yes.
I just one additional comment to Councilman Mickelson's point is that our children need to know how to swim. And they really can't learn it in the lake in the summer, in the small window when the water's warm enough. We need the pool and we need to fix it. And all of us have had children walk up and down the dock, and heaven forbid they fall in, we want them to know how to at least tread water for a moment. And so I'm very much in support of fixing the pool and doing what we can.
I think it's very important, if I might.
Yes.
To remember, we're actually not really fixing our pool, just so everyone knows, we're putting the Band-Aid, I mean, realistically. $100,000 doesn't fix our pool. $100,000, let me say it again, $100,000 puts a Band-Aid on our pool. So, let that sink in, we want money to come from somewhere, we want money to go other places, but that's where we're at, $100,000. And that gives us maybe a couple years. That's what we're doing, $100,000. To Band-Aid our pool, and it's a resource we need, there's nothing, I absolutely agree, if we're just gonna get to a point where we're gonna have to choose what recreation we have. I think the MOU idea is a great idea, but we just can't have it all. And it's great to say that 40 years ago, in the world that we lived in, that we could have volunteered and done everything ourselves. It's just not the world we live in today. What $100,000 is paying for today could have 40 years ago built you a whole new pool. But that's just not where we live today. Things are expensive. It's expensive to live here, but it's also a choice to live here in Clear. And it's a great choice. But $100,000.
Great, thank you. I have a question, so the 100,000 that was budgeted for the pool repair, about 50 of it is for the contract with Peterson Welding. And so the other 50 is for the substrate work.
Yeah, that'd be for, we don't have Amanda can always come up, but yeah, that would be for the pool liner to be put back in. We don't have a final quote on that, so.
I'm just thinking that substrate work.
There is some contingency built in that, a pretty big buffer for it, I would say big, but, hopefully, so we don't know, when Renosas gave us their initial quote, it's to come in and assess what, we need to fix currently. Along with putting some gaskets around, I think, our drains, they can't give us, any other quote than that until they come in and see it, and they can't do that until we close up the pool. So, they wanna make sure that we have it closed, and so we just wanted to build in a contingency, so we don't have to keep that. So.
Madam, you know, I read the whole packet, read all the descriptions of what's happening under the pool, and I can only imagine. It might have helped a little bit if we had some photographs, or is this photographable? I would have liked to have seen some pictures.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to send those out to you guys and get them in the packet too. It would definitely give you a good idea. I know I had some in my commission meeting. The last one that I had some photos in there. Just, it does give you a different picture of what's really happening and. We take a lot of photos for documentation.
Madam Mayor, I just wanted to ask Commissioner Mickelson, did you get your questions answered from
Yeah.
earlier? Since we're on that.
Well, I believe we're still on, well, that matches on, it's still one, yeah, that's.
It's either.
Yeah. Am I incorrect there?
Well,
Yeah,
it's the budget, technically, we're doing the
Okay.
budget at the moment, but yeah.
Well, if we're gonna, yeah, let's do that one, and then we can go on people, I have more questions, but,
Kevin.
Yeah, I was just gonna add, so the reason you're only seeing one resolution tonight for the contracting. That's over the council threshold is because this was the time sensitive one to get them back moving. So assuming you pass this resolution as is to allocate money towards the pool funding and then pass the. Following resolution to actually award the contract, we'll be back at the next meeting or the meeting after to then ask for a contract with Renosas to do the pool lining repair, so that's just why you're not seeing it tonight.
Great, thank you. I guess that was my error in getting into the pool thing when we're just talking about the budget, so sorry. Yeah, okay. Any other questions about this budget amendment? Did you? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so.
That's a roll call.
Have a roll call vote, because yeah, I was talking about
Because it's a budget.
spending amendment,
Yeah, money not budgeted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on resolution 32611. Kathy Sherman,
Yes.
Deborah Adams,
Yes.
Casey Kinston,
yes.
Mike Mickelson,
Yes.
Aaron Hanson,
Yes.
Wendy Rainey,
Yes.
Dave Zastro.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, so next item on the agenda is 03-26-12.
I move that we approve resolution 03-26-12, a resolution of the council of the city of Cordova, Alaska, authorizing the city manager to enter into a sole source contract with Peterson's Welding for repair services for the Bob Corn Memorial Pool in amount not to exceed $50,000.
Second. Thank you. Great, Councilmember Mickelson.
Yeah, I think. You know, it seems pretty clear that. We need to know what we're getting into, and part of that is this exactly here. I've certainly heard concerns from all sorts of different community members about the pool, and you know, I think the most valid one that I've heard when I'm sort of trying to evaluate what to do in this pressing financial situation is that the community has said that this is a priority. If we choose to scrap this project and not have a pool, the soonest we would probably be able to get a new one would be minimum 5 years, and so. That is a lot of classes of kids that are not getting swimming instruction. And as someone that took a boat to school every day, I feel like I am certainly qualified to speak to the importance of being able to swim here, and if you've been listening to the news, there was a student that just drowned in Sandpoint, whose pool is broken. And when I was there teaching that student 2 years ago, you know, it brings it right to the surface of what we're risking by not looking for repairs, so. I think it should be a priority.
That's for sure. That's a tough one to follow, and it should be a priority, it is a Band-Aid, but. Band-Aids are fine, for now. So I'm in favor of spending the money for.
Other council members?
Yes.
So. We all understand where we're at for the most part. Like Mickelson said, the duration or starting today. We're not gonna have a pool, a brand new pool at any point in time. In the near future, it's gonna be expensive. So we need as much as we can get to that point. Along with that, we need to have a master plan. We need to finish the master plan so that we qualify for funding and have a direction. I am in full support of the pool. Galiak's pretty young, he hasn't spent a tremendous amount of time in the pool, but it is actually something that he asks. Is when are we gonna get back to the pool? And during the winter time is when we use the pool and you look at all your memories and old photos, and my daughter's from 2 or 3 months old in the pool. It was immediate, mostly because of Tony ensuring that the kids were in the pool as soon as possible. But it is very important, and I understand what we're paying for, and I understand the condition. And I, for myself, and I think for the community, that $100,000 Band-Aid would be worth closing that gap from where we're at today, where we want to be in the future.
Yes, Councilmember.
I didn't grow up here, but, my mother was a single parent and found her criteria for the apartment that we rented growing up was that it had a swimming pool for 4 kids. And we were in the pool from the beginning of the summer, all day, every day until the end of the summer. And I can't tell you how important that was for our recreation, for our lives together, and I want that same experience for my grandchildren. It's not an outdoor pool, but that's what we have, and I'm willing to spend the money to fix Band-Aid, whatever word you wanna use, so that people can get back in the water. My one question, however, though, is, I see the drains and the pumps are they gonna be replaced, repaired? I understand all the other components, but.
Yeah, absolutely. So the sumps and the drains are actually pretty nice. They were replaced not too long ago. I do have documentation on that. So they're not in a bad condition where we need to replace them right now. They just need to be re-leveled. And to do that, we need to just scoot them out of the way.
And is there gonna be, my follow-up question here, is there gonna be any other, I guess preventative measures, because we know that water runs down that cliff underneath the pool. And you can see what it happens at the post office where it's going and bubbles up.
Absolutely.
And is there gonna be some preventative measures taken so that the water's diverted and it won't rip out the substrate again?
The whole reason why this is happening, the pool is engineered beautifully. I love pools. I love how this pool's built. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing. There is a lot of water here. It was engineered so that the water would go underneath of it. So we're lacking now, our pools are not supposed to be empty. So putting water in it immediately is going to correct the issue that's happening right now. The reason why it's happening is because there's no water in it, so the water, the ground table is coming up through the hydrostatic valve, so, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. When we put water in it, it will go back to being engineered correctly and, not having this issue with it, so, yeah, so that's why even when we put, patch it, and then it takes a while for Renosis to come back in here to fix it. We have direction from them and the engineers to put water in it, not fill it, but just enough to hold that water table down. And then we'll drain it again, and then have, when Renosis comes in to repair the liner.
And will that draining be problematic?
Shouldn't be. Then it probably won't exaggerate either, about 30 times this year, so. We've had some, the last one was a big drain, so.
Lots of practice.
Yes.
Next one.
Yes.
I'm just gonna add on to what's been said and also acknowledge that it is a Band-Aid, which we all know. And also acknowledge that it's super important for the children in our community to have this pool, but it's also used by the entire community. I'm a swimmer, and I think most people in this room might actually be swimmers, so it's a resource for the entire community. Again, back to this being a Band-Aid, and we're just throwing a mere $100,000 at it. And we have an idea of what that's gonna look like as far as moving forward, spending that money to at least get it back functioning again. But as we've realized this, we're looking at a complete new pool at some point, new building, new pool. One of the things I discussed with Samantha a little bit, I would like to see this council sit down with Parks and Rec to do some type of a workshop at some time in the future. To at least get an idea of what that might look like. Maybe pending agenda, we could pop something in there, but I would like to see us take a more active role in being more aware and a little more of the details of what that might look like in supporting the Parks and Rec.
Well, I think that picks up with what Councilmember Hanson was saying about we need a master plan. And I know that there's been talk about doing a master
Yeah.
plan for Parks and Rec, but maybe there's something in between where because we've also talked about Bedarkie. So we can talk about that pending agenda, but we need something to get us to that point where we've got the pretty pictures and the vision and that we can take to fund it.
And that master plan though is a master plan for the entire Parks and Rec and all.
But that's what I'm, right, I don't know that that's what I'm saying, there's a middle ground, maybe we have to figure out.
And that,
We
then
have
my-
it half done, we have it half completed, back in 2020.
But-
Or, I am in contact with Corpus Design, probably monthly,
Mhm.
because they would like to finish it for us and they have offered to rescope it. So I do wanna put that out there that, they've been wonderful to work with over this time and very patient, but I would love to have that discussion.
And I do recognize all that, so.
Pending agenda, yeah.
Sure. I just want to be clear that that's kind of a separate issue in my mind, and that's something we need to go out and get funding for sure.
Right.
That's one of the issues,
Yeah.
having that
Right.
done in place so we can move forward funding, but
Shape that takes.
yeah, I would just like to see us be more aware, because again, this is another $100,000 going out
Mhm.
for a Band-Aid that
Right.
we're just, it's only gonna last so long.
Right.
So I think we need to be better aware and more attuned to what it really is gonna look like for a complete replacement.
Yeah, absolutely. No question. Okay. Thank you. Oh, I guess we're. Are there any further comments? Sorry. Yes. Right. Any other council members wanna speak to the motion?
It should be a roll call, sorry.
Okay.
It's not budgeted, right? This wasn't budgeted.
Well, technically it's not.
Oh, that's true. You know, I just.
Well,
You can do a
roll
roll, you can do a
call
roll.
safer. Sure.
So call the roll, okay. Casey Kinsman,
Yes.
Dave Zastro,
Yes.
Deborah Adams,
Yes.
Wendy Rainey,
Yes.
Aaron Hanson,
Yes.
Mike Mickelson,
Yes.
Kathy Sherman.
Yes.
I think there is 7-0.
Thanks, everyone. Okay. We don't have any unfinished business, and that brings us to new and miscellaneous business and our pending agenda.
7 stickies on
Well, tell us what you got. Why don't we start with that?
Okay. Little League or fee schedule, or how does this come as an agenda item?
Say MOU. The fee schedule, I don't know however you wanna put it.
Like MOU. I think it's
Discussing the fee schedule, but.
The fee schedule can still be the fee schedule, and we can talk about an MOU for any kind, whatever that we want that to look like, and there can still be a fee schedule, is the way I see it.
Yeah, I don't wanna adjust the fee schedule, I just.
Right, do you want council to hash that out, or staff hash it out and bring it to you, or?
It sounds like we're asking for a new MOU. And so I guess we're asking staff and Little League
So
to
that's how I would understand that, and
develop a draft of an MOU. And that can be, and I guess then adopting that can be the action item for discussion.
in the same way with the chamber of commerce, yeah, that we're doing there.
Right.
Mayor,
Yes.
I would like to weigh in on this, myself.
We would, I think when we get a draft MOU, that will be the opportunity we have to all to pass through it. But did you wanna do?
I'm in support of an MOU, and I think it's a great idea, as someone who laid the sod in the rain years ago, I love baseball. And I love watching kids play it, and I can hear them from my house all summer long. And it's a wonderful sound. And so I really want to support Little League, however we can, and as other council members said at the table here, don't wanna change the fee schedule, and I confess that I was not aware that we were going to be charging for the fields. And the snack shack, and maybe I didn't read the fee schedule carefully enough. Because I would have objected. So, I want it on record that I fully support an in-kind offer to, or an MOU to Little League.
Well, I think the point of getting an MOU drafted is so that we have something to discuss. We've got a framework and we can talk about what does that include and how do we structure it? So, yeah, I think that's what we're.
And I just, with that, wanna make sure staff understand, I guess, the direction from council.
Well, I know, but I can't
No.
promise it's gonna
No.
it's gonna be an MOU on the next meeting. I don't even know, I
Right,
mean, Sam isn't even here.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's doing it.
Right. Yeah, no, it's not gonna be immediate, but
No.
yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
I wrote staff and Little League draft MOU, then action item for future. Work on,
Okay.
it's somewhere in the middle of that sentence.
Mhm. Okay, other stickies?
Oh, or do you want me to advertise for interest in your committee?
Sure.
Yes. So put an ad out, but then, okay,
Yeah, but then I don't, so but.
and you're gonna help
Yeah.
people
Mhm.
push out some applications, for people, I
Mhm.
guess. I'll use the normal application.
Mhm.
And then, master plan, Parks and Rec, joint meeting.
I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I don't know if we want. I almost, well, I guess,
Excuse me. Interrupt.
Yeah.
It might be useful to have information from Parks and Rec Director and Corvus about what it might cost to restart that master plan and maybe have a couple of community meetings regarding the pool prior to it coming before council. I don't know.
I think I was hoping we could do something kind of in between. I mean, the master plan, the whole schmear is everything. And I feel like we really need to focus our energies on the pool.
Yeah.
You know, that's a top priority, and I don't know that finishing the whole rest of it for sake of just getting the part about the pool is the most effective way to do that.
So just to throw this in, Samantha was saying that with her discussions with the consultant. They would be able to help finish the master plan, but not they can pare it down, so it's not a parks-wide master plan, so it solely is focusing on a rec and what are the rec and pool center needs for the community. So I mean, that is already the conversation that she's having.
Yeah. Councilmember Hanson.
Commissioner. I'll just and reiterate, I think this is probably the third meeting I have brought this up, to push to amend the budget to fund the plan. That is what I am conveying and what I would like to see done. I brought this up. I want to say in December and was hoping to get it on the February. And did not happen, so I can just make it very clear. That is what I am pushing down.
Well, I think it would be great to, yeah, Councilman Sure.
No, that's, I guess that's what I was emphasizing too, that if the director of Parks and Rec has had this discussion with Corvus, and Corvus is very much aware of the fact that we need a new pool. Focus just on that aspect of it, what would it cost us to engage them to help us finalize that master plan? They're already halfway there. Why waste too much time? Let's get it on the table, what's it gonna cost us, and move forward. So it seems like a lot of the legwork's already been
In fact, we're willing to, you know,
great, they know.
yeah, they know, the paragraph is just what we need.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think we're asking for staff to come forward with a proposal that would tell us what it would cost to do that.
Okay, I will just channel Sam for a moment that the money will have to be cut from somewhere else to be put towards this, so. The council and the community, and to then council in an instance point is what will we cut to fund this? Not that it shouldn't be funded. But it is a reality that is currently not funded and the money does have to come from somewhere.
But we need to know how much.
Yes.
Yes, yep, and yeah, and I guess I did have, I didn't ask this question. But the money that we put. The rest of the fisheries disaster money went into just a capital project.
We just
line
have
item,
it,
not-
we just have it sitting in a line item for
Yeah,
now,
okay.
but you know, we have an extra 500 and something thousand that is needed for Second Street.
Right,
There's
right,
money
right,
needed
right.
for other, you know,
Yeah.
that money is quote unquote already spent.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
Mayor,
yes.
one last thing. I guess along the lines with Skaters Cabin, if there is a way to set up donations for this cause in specific. Clearly the community is in support. I'm willing to have some skin in the game and donate towards this cause. I feel that other people would be in the same boat as myself. And we move in that direction. It can pull a little burden off of the city budget.
Was that for the pool or the master plan?
I think we're both.
A plan for the pool, yeah. We're talking about narrowing down the focus of the master plan to focus on. Okay, well, so yeah, so we're asking staff to come back with a number and a plan and that will give us a little bit more to go on. When we get that. Okay, other pending agenda items.
Madam Mayor, in that same vein, if we could get a total of what we've spent on the pool, let's just, I know we did the liner 18 months ago, we've done, so let's, I mean, in the last 24 months. How much have we spent already on that pool? I mean, that's good context of, as we start looking at what a new pool costs and what it's gonna cost us. Cause we have definitely put some money in that pool and the doors are still closed. And it's not anyone's fault, it's just where we're at. So.
That would be just a nice background amendment or attachment to the proposal from.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay, then I guess we, well, should we talk about meetings? We've got a meeting scheduled for. The next one is the 18th and I won't be in town, but I should be available. So. Is that, would we also at that meeting elect a vice mayor?
No, not until the first April meeting, because it's after certification, so luckily. we have a vice mayor.
Okay.
And we
Okay,
still do it. But, I
um,
mean, he'd still be there.
yeah,
Unless he's not gonna be there.
yeah,
I mean,
so I
looking at
can,
his
I will
schedule right
plan
now.
accordingly.
You will? Okay, great.
and I won't be able to attend the one on the first,
Will or will not?
will not.
Okay.
Yeah,
That will be us elected a new vice mayor, so. The Kinsman can be the. Still. That one.
yeah, Councilmember Henson.
One more thing for pending agenda. I know that we were requesting to work up an MOU with the Little. Little League isn't that far away. Is that gonna happen prior? Possibly, possibly not. Is there a way to put it on the agenda to, if we choose to go this direction, to waive the fee scale or come up with something to where they can continue to operate the way that they have until an MOU is put in place?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess Sam isn't here, so we don't know if it's possible to have a draft MOU by the April meeting.
Yeah, I think without officially putting something on the pending agenda, we can take a look at how the fee schedule is written currently, what code says for allowance on administrative level for waiving fees, and knowing that that is what seems to be the direction of council, we can see if that's something that can be done, or if we do need to bring something back, we will.
Okay.
If that works for everybody.
Thank you. April for the council meetings. You know, you said we have a board of adjustments. We have a board of equalization
Yes, we
coming
do.
out
The
also.
month of boards.
I'm just curious if for planning purposes, anything that might be. Do we know when Arnie earned
Arnie. and-
Arnie, thank you.
Martins, yeah. What about them?
Just when he'll be in town.
Oh, I see. The last day, the appeal period closes April 1st. And I know, put it on, the Board of Equalization is the 20th. And
Is that
usually they come kind of the tail end of that week before
Mhm.
to work out the appeals. So I'd say they're probably gonna be here 15th or 16th. And
Calendar notes.
But I put April Fool's Day on.
Right, but not.
Most important.
Yeah, I mean, you have Dress to
And-
Kill, you have Easter,
Highlights.
Passover.
The Ides of March. Oh, that's like, you know.
Earth Day.
You have the Ides of March.
Isn't that Caesar with the?
Yes, there was.
At 2.
I'm just having a really great time not turning to April. Sorry.
But did you pull that out of your packet?
The city league is absent from the conflict.
Oh, my goodness, I had everything.
Okay, well then, let's move on to audience participation, so members of the audience, if there's anything you would like to comment on. At all, maybe that wasn't on the agenda. This would be the opportunity. Or come up and speak again.
Great, Lucas for Fourth Street. I spent most of the meeting trying to write something that was pretty succinct, and I felt pretty good. I channeled my inner Miss Adams from high school and March thoughts ever took in high school. And I'm probably not gonna follow any of it, which might be my detriment, but thanks again for all of you guys and all the hard decisions you guys get to make. To Aaron's point, I think it's a really good idea to get some sort of coffee can that people can throw money into, whoever, businesses, whatever, however. As a local business, small business, Kim Irby told me this a long time ago, you get hit up for everything all the time. And it's true, and it's the same pair of pants, it's the same wallet, and so. We're all here because we want to live here. I fully agree with Casey on that one, and I also agree that 100 grand isn't what it used to be. Remember as a kid thinking that you're rich, 100 grand, now you scraping by, it seems. And so good luck on that one. In financial planning, talk about where you're at today and where you want to get to. How you gonna get there? That you guys are in hot seats for, I guess. Hopefully you take a lot of what people have to say into consideration because you guys all know, I mean, it's getting harder. So have you lived here for a long, long time? Some of you not so much, but it seems to be getting harder here in town and we're losing a lot of stuff. It seems to be quicker. I mean, that was probably no surprise that the OBI Silver Bay thing isn't gonna happen. We'll see what that looks like this year. Forecasts aren't great on flats or on fish tax, all the things that you guys have to take into account to balance the books and employ people. And I like what Kevin said, channeling his inner Sam. Where are we gonna, which pocket are we gonna pull the money from to do the thing? I mean, that's terrible. I mean, that's tough, weight balance, make it work, but I still think we didn't get here overnight. We're not gonna get out of it overnight. And so long range plan, whatever you can do, I just hope we don't lose too much more, whether it's people or services, whatever. I don't think we can privatize Parks and Rec. I don't think we can privatize, well, I don't think we can do any of that. Cause who's gonna run it? Like the volunteers are already volunteered out. I'm one of them, Aaron's one of them, Aaron's in town, no cut off, second arm. Anyways, thank you guys for what you're doing and I wouldn't want to be in your seats, but I'm very grateful for all of you for doing it. So thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for coming to the meeting. Ian's comments?
Can I speak something about the master plan? Sorry, if it's not
Sure.
appropriate.
Come on up.
I just want to clarify something and that's a good time. You had asked if, how much it would cost to do the master plan and I have that answer vaguely. They want to know what we want. So I've already asked that question to them, to Corvus Design. So they want to know what you want to encompass in the rest of the master plan, rescoping it. So, I think a possible suggestion would be meeting with them and I think they'd be open to that. Coming in and talking to them, whatever council decides, but, if I've already asked them that question, so like, what would the rest of the master plan cost? And they did email up and say, what do you want? And so we're thinking about civil engineering, that sort of thing, so.
So I would say to you, maybe come up with a couple different scenarios.
Okay.
Like if we did the whole schmear, it would be this. If we focused on Bedarkie and the pool, it would be this. If we just did the pool, it would be this, or some, a couple different scenarios so that we've got a range of options and can, yeah.
Great, I will do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Samantha.
Okay. Let's.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, come on up, sorry.
I'm just trying to coordinate with Dave. I appreciate all you guys' time and consideration with the league in kind, the MOU. I'm not saying that we're not, interested. I can't speak for the board. I am on the board, but, I just fear, I mean, having everybody here can attest, it takes a lot of time to do those kinds of things. Everybody's busy. Summer season's right around the corner. Everybody gets, way busier. Maybe someone would consider just doing an income, an action item for future council meeting for the in-kind for now, while in the meantime, we can do an MOU and trying to get, things hashed out when we have a little more time on our hands and instead of trying to rush things through. So that's why, thank you.
Hi, I'm Edie Merman. I'm a teacher at Mount Apples. I'm a little nervous, but I'm coming up here. My husband says, do you have a plan? I don't got a plan, but I am a huge advocate for the youth in this community. We moved here in 2018, so we're still, I would like to class myself as a Cordovan. I think I earned the right, but I'm still not born and raised. I have volunteered being a swim coach. I have volunteered teaching swim lessons in the Bobcorn pool. I have volunteered spending hours and many hours coaching baseball coaching softball. So I have volunteered in all the things that you've discussed about putting money towards. And I think those children would say thank you. Because they can't come advocate just how important that is. It could save a life, it could build team building, it could bring a student that is a kiddo that is like so shy and so low self-esteem, confidence in baseball. There's just all these things that made Cordova remarkable. And it's getting tougher, it's getting hard to live here with having children when these things start to become not Cordova anymore. And I totally get that it's not how it used to be. But if there's a way, or if there's grants you can write, or if there's people that can donate, I just appreciate that you guys see that. And because I feel like youth should be completely 100% like made sure that they're prioritized, because they're kind of like the future of Cordova. And yeah, so thank you.
Thanks, Kate. Comments for no plan.
I told him I was gonna.
Anyone else? Audience comments? Don't want to cut anybody off. Nobody's rushing the mic. All right. So let's go to council comments and maybe we'll start on this side this time.
We can start this side, I'll let them hear.
Okay.
Yeah, start.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, in case the other way.
Sounds like you're ready.
No, I'm more ready than the face you gave off. I got you. I think the biggest thing, thank you for coming out. You guys let us know what's important to you. If we really are representing you. So, this is great. So like, I think you're welcome to come anytime. But, I mean, that's up to you. You do what you want with your time and we'll do what we want, I guess, with what we think is best for what you guys want until you come in mass and tell us we're doing it all wrong. And then we'll adjust and pivot and sometimes it's too late. And it is the community that we all choose to live in. I appreciate the conversations about Parks and Rec and the money that we are spending there, we have already spent there. And I think at some point we just need to realize how we're gonna be the best steward of the money we have spent. That's great. Our community needs a pool. I don't actually know that I've heard anyone say that we don't. Anywhere, like in town and on any council member, costs money. But I've never heard anyone say like the pool. There might be other things people could debate. Do we need this park or do we need this thing? But the pool is something it's an essential service for our community. And as we're putting money into what we currently have, I'm grateful for the conversation of how do we then take 5 years from now, 10 years from now to get us to where we actually need to be? And how can we make and bridge that gap with our current? That's really how we. And there's other assets in our community that we probably need to be looking at the same way. I had the opportunity to be in Wrangell a couple weeks ago and they had a big town hall meeting and it was really well done and got some really good input there. I will say they have come into money in one of the most unfortunate ways that anyone could ever come into money. So I hope we never find ourselves in that position to have the money and it's all tied to the landslide and the loss of life that they had. So, but it was great to see the town involvement. I think we're at that point, once we get an idea of A, B, C, and D with Parks and Rec, that might just be where we need to be, but as the community, here's A, B, C, and D. This is how much A, B, C, and D looks like, and this is what your property tax looks like if we go with A, B, C, or whatever other option, we can talk about it, but all of A, B, C, and D are gonna come at a cost. And we only pay whatever percentage that we pay, and then there's the rest of the town who's making up the difference in that. We're all paying for it, is what I'm getting at, whatever it is.
So it's gonna behoove all of us to have a voice in saying that. So. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I think that it is, to echo what Casey said, you know, it's great to have people come in and tell us what you want. It's certainly seems reprehensible to me to be charging an organization for use of something that they helped build and maintain and all of that, so. I look forward to working towards a solution that works for everybody. I definitely think we need to have some long-term planning, for the pool. And speaking of long-term planning, now that this bear fence is gonna become a reality, I think we need to have a little more discussion about kind of how we got here, because we had a baler. I don't remember seeing bears at the dump, in this kind of volume, and we did have a fence before, and we had some challenges, but I think we need to look at a little more into sort of what our long-term plan is for that, because we had a big baler previously because we wanted to make sure that we got the longest possible lifespan out of our landfill. And so now that we've kind of changed course, I think in the future, we need to have some more discussion about how to really get the most out of this fence that we're putting in, because there's certainly other communities that have had positive experiences with this. There's communities that have had negative experiences. We had to make this decision so that we remain compliant and having a working landfill, but I don't think this means that our job is done here in terms of dealing with waste in Cordova. Again, I'd like to thank all the boards and commissions and city employees that continue working diligently on all these things, and I really appreciate all the pool updates that we get, and you know, I understand that it's important, and I'm looking forward to finding a more long-term solution.
Yeah, that's another answer.
Thanks to all the community members who were voicing and being present. Thank you to staff for all the time and effort that you guys put in. I would say that it's not lost on me. You know, you're speaking on behalf of Sam. It's got to come from somewhere. I'm not seeing this money as, you know, it's not an extra. It's not pulling us out of a deficit. I'm very uncomfortable with where the budget cuts have gotten us. Again, I've said it, I'll probably continue to say it. Stripping the maintenance budget is not where we want to be. Repairing on failure is not where you want to be. It costs more. There's more risk for the employees, just life and safety in general. And we really need, along with the other things, is to not allow that maintenance budget to be pushed to the back burner. It has to be right there with these important core community pieces that we want to plan for. And I just do not want that to get lost, and it needs to be a focus. Thank you.
Councilmember Sherman. Yeah, I'm just thinking we'd be in a terrible state right now if there hadn't been councils that came before us. And for some reason, I'm thinking of Neil Schultz right now, but Travis, many others who put aside our permanent fund for us. And those guys had not been, and they were men then, but they had not been thinking about saving for a rainy day, and we have not been able to do that. And it just has turned my stomach that we have not been able to save money. But I'm not gonna end on a downer note, and I think the housing committee is a great start. And I'm really excited about that, and I really do hope we can address some of the abandoned buildings, that's just, I think that just drives me crazy. Thanks to staff, it's really nice to have an audience too, it just makes such a difference when you're sitting up here. So I will come back as an audience member, stare you all down. But I'm just gonna try and do my happy little positive Nelly thing. My granddaughter said to me the other day, why is everything so fast? Why do we have to turn to our phones immediately? Why don't we go back to the old days when phones were on the walls? And I said, yeah, phones are on the walls, and that was really cool. Cause you had to just sit and talk to someone attached to a cord. And she goes, yeah, and she goes, and it made you slow down, and you sat and you thought, and you were just sitting. And it's like, yeah, you know, and Craig hits the nail on the head, we don't wanna lose those kind of things, and I don't think we have, I get your point. I get your point, as a historian and seeing things, but I'm just thinking, we have a hockey rink, you know, on Odiak Pod this winter, and I've never seen anything like that in the 40 years I've been here. And we had curling in totes, you know, and that was a freaking hoot. And so there's still that thing here, and your family and many other families are a big part of that, so that's what we need to do, is keep those families coming and keep them staying, and I wish your family, Joan, could come here too, and I'm thrilled to death to have my grandchildren living here too, and seeing and experiencing all that, and everybody went out to the glacier the other day and enjoyed that, and I think Skater's Cabin is a perfect example of, yeah, sad to lose that. We were all really bummed about it, part of history. Put cans out, put fundraisers out, we've got a $20,000 grant now, there's hope there. And why not do that with the pool, you know, why not? Cause this town is just amazing for that, so I'm not leaving, and I'm not gonna give up, and I'm just gonna. I think all your ideas are good, master plans and long-term planning, and really giving staff the opportunity to build the capacity from within is what we need to support, so, I'm just happy with the steps we're taking, and I'm gonna keep thinking positive. Thank you, Councilmember Sherman, and thank you so much for your service. All its forms, staff and admissions, Dixon's Road class member.
We all know you're not done yet either, so.
I'm raising team. Member Adams.
How can I follow that? I, first off, wanna appreciate those of you who have shown up tonight. Because we need to hear from the community. And if you don't tell us what you want, what you need, we don't know. And I think it's much more effective to have this face-to-face conversation than hear the complaining and frankly bitching on Facebook about how, city council's not living within their budget. We are. We have very tight budget constraints, and we're, thank goodness Cheryl's still here, and I'm sure she's listening. She's the one who has crunched all the numbers and done the painful work, and then we have, our city manager who continually reminds us to stay within our budget. And if we spend this money, then something's coming out of somewhere else, so, I'm glad there's support for the pool, and I'm glad that there's a, some.
She's listening.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thumbs flying.
So I'm glad that you showed up, and I'm glad that we can explore a solution here for the pool. And I live in Cordova because of this community. And it wasn't the kind of community that I grew up with. I didn't have a community, and to live here now for the years that I have, that's why I stay. And so keep talking to us, and we'll do the best we can. So thank you for coming.
Everything my fellow council members have said,
And yeah, living in Cordova, they were all here because we love living in Cordova. I've left twice and came back because I didn't find a better place to live, so. We're all here because we love this community. But I also want to reiterate a thank you, staff. Thank you for audience participation. That means everything, having people in the room and online. Keeping us account on what the community wants to see done. And thank you, this group of people around this table. This is a great group of people to work with great ideas. And I feel real fortunate to work with such high caliber people. I'm also very excited about working on what we might do for the modified facilities master plan for Parks and Rec. Not losing the investment we already put into it and coming up with something that's very targeted to the exact needs that we need to move forward with the pool, things of that nature. So hopeful that's going to be a great document once we get that finished. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You're ready?
So I read my packet probably 4 to 5 times before I get in here. And I still miss things and I still don't understand everything. I own a fishing lodge. I do not present that budgets are my forte. And when I'm wrong, I hope that everybody realizes that I say I'm wrong and we need you guys to come and tell us because I would never have voted the fee schedule in had I realized that there would have been a charge to the league and we could have avoided all this, but I didn't do my due diligence and check on the MOUs and I appreciate the community coming in and talking to us. And I will go home tonight and my husband will ask me the question he asked me after every city council meeting, do we have to move? And I don't think we do this time, but I'm not taking it off the table. But I appreciate the community coming out and I appreciate everybody giving us feedback and I appreciate the phone calls at the house and the visits and the stop for coffee. It's part of the community that I do like is hearing from folks in town and I appreciate the staff and I know that the money has to come from somewhere and I will continue to spend time looking for grants that we could possibly put in for, but you know, we as Cordovans need to choose and if it comes down to choosing whether we build a skater's cabin back or we have a pool, you know, those decisions have to come forward and we need the input from the community to make those decisions. Those are not 7 people making that decision. It has to come from the community. So I appreciate you guys coming in. I appreciate you giving us crap and I appreciate you giving us feedback and thank you for your time tonight. And I appreciate Kathy. I will miss her greatly. On council, I'm really glad Casey's back because although we don't see eye to eye, I appreciate the conversations on most things and this has been a good group, a good council group, and I'm pleased to be a part of it, so thank you.
This was your last meeting, but I guess not until.
No, you got one more. You can.
Another meeting, so, yeah.
All right.
It's gonna be cake and sparklers.
Okay, so how about a motion for our executive session? Sure, we could take a recess.
We could do them both. They're both your financial. And then we'll recess. Sounds good.
Do we need to come out?
So let's do.
Yeah, so let's make the motions and then we'll take a recess, so we have
Okay.
time to clear the room, yeah.
I move, council move into executive session for 2 matters. Council discussion with city manager regarding land sale negotiation with Native Village of Viac. A matter the immediate knowledge of which would clearly have an adverse effect upon the finances of the city. And second item, council discussion with attorneys regarding Alaska Pipeline Services Company. Demand for repayment of taxes for 2017 and 2018 supplemental assessment. A matter the immediate knowledge of which would clearly have an adverse effect upon the finances of this city.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go into executive session, so let's, so all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so let's take a 5-minute recess and we'll come back for our executive session.
Wanted to send you this note